Today the topic is Sukha. Sukha, you know Sukha? Sukha, happiness, the real happiness. So by the Buddhism we can talk about the happiness of the daily life. Did you have good food sometime? It give you a lot of enjoyment. Maybe you hear very nice music. Anyone didn't have the feeling of happiness of good music, of good food? Or maybe a very nice smell, maybe flowers or anything. Or maybe sight. You saw something beautiful. Like it very much. It was very nice. Maybe you was in a holiday, sitting and see the beautiful wave of the sea, or whatever, sunset or sunshine. So this is the happiness of the what we call the six sense doors, hearing, or five sense doors: hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, and thinking. Or let's say thinking, we leave the thinking in the side. We don't consider seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling. Maybe nice coffee or nice tea. Make you happy when you have some kind of nice food like this, or nice sight, or does anyone not have any enjoyment from this? Is anyone? If there is anyone that didn't experience the enjoyment of the sense doors, he can raise up there. This is one kind of enjoyment. This is the happiness that we got from the six sense doors or from the five sense doors. Another kind of happiness we get when we gain something. When we have some property, maybe we buy shopping. When you like shopping, maybe new car, or you buy for yourself a house, or you get something, or you earn money every month. You feel happy, And then another kind of happiness, it's the happiness maybe that you gain friends. You have many friends, family, children, wife, husband. Happiness that you gain because you are healthy. You are strong, you're feeling good, you can do things, you can raise up things, you can build things. Maybe another kind of happiness you can gain when you get some position. Maybe you became a boss, maybe you get you important in the work or something like this. How much happy it makes you, Happiness that you gain when you success something. You want to do something and then you success on it. How good I am in this, how successful. What's the problem of this happiness? Why? Why not to say, for example, why the Buddhism, you should not say this is good happiness. Great things, no? To success, to get. Actually, there is one more. Happiness can gain something that I don't know if any one of you experience it, if any one of you practice enough meditation. Hello, guten Abend. If any one of you enough experience from meditation, this is the experience that you gain when you're practicing strong concentrations, and we call it jhana. It means when the mind became concentrating in one point and feeling happiness, enjoyment inside of the quietness of the mind. This actually, if we talk about the power of concentration, you can reach to 8 kind of power of concentration. All of them bring you peaceful mind, happiness. With all these kind of happiness that I talk, you even gain so strong of enjoyment, we call it piti. Piti, it's like a rapture, enjoyment, really. You saw, for example, the mama, she holding the little baby, she's so excited, she started to cry from happiness. And maybe you saw someone, or maybe you yourself happened to you that you was listening to the music, so nice music, and then shivering all the body, so nice, so excited. This we call piti. All these kinds of happy feeling that I talk now, is any one of you didn't experience, didn't have in all his life? There is any one of you that don't really understand what I'm talking about now? There is any one of you that have another idea of what is really make him happy or enjoyment from all this? I talk about feeling or hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting. I'm talking about successful, about gaining, about position, about friendship, all these things. There is any things that you think more that bring someone happiness? Anyone thinks that there is any other kind of happiness that I didn't mention till now? The Buddha called to these kinds of feeling what I mentioned till now, worldly things. This belongs to the world. Why you should say this? What the meaning it's belong to the word? Should be any problematic with this? Why not to be happy? Everybody want to be happy. Huh? Do you think there is any problem with this kind of happiness that I just present now? Because the Buddha was a scientist. He looked for happiness. He was a king. He was prince. Why didn't he satisfied with this? Why he have to leave the palace? He was a millionaire. He had how many girls that he want? What do you think? What make him not to be satisfied with this kind of feeling of happy? Do you think anyone have idea? Please share with me.
What you say letztlich is what you genau. What you what you say, this kind of happiness, they in the moment you are getting them, in the moment you are gaining them, they bring you happiness, but they are not lasting forever. They are temporary.
That's correct. This is one character that the Buddha find out about these things. This is correct what you say, but it is one part of it. I will tell you, this is very, very correct what you said. Because when the Buddha look at the nature, and why he call it worldly conditions or worldly happiness. One thing, like you said, it's changing all the time. It's impermanent. And then second things, we cannot control it. We cannot bring it any time that we want. What you say truly, it's the Buddha call it anicca. Probably you know it, huh? No, you don't know. The Buddha call anicca. Second, the things that you cannot control everything, he call anatta. These combinations of things, these two things, it's a characters for the Buddha, for the nature, the Buddha say. When the Buddha was observing the nature, he opened the eyes, he opened his hearing, he paid attention to the nature, he saw that everything in nature changing. And then second, like I said, the first is that everything changing is a nature things. The weather changing, my feeling changing, my age changing, my salary changing, everything. Relationship changing, the people that I related to them, they suddenly disappear or whatever, I don't know, sickness, dying, or everything change. And we cannot be guaranteed that they will continue forever. And the second thing, it's what the Buddha called anatta. It means we cannot control everything we want. I cannot decide what kind of weather will be now. It's come by itself. I don't know, suddenly people come and say, what is the weather outside? If I can control, I can make boom, sunshine. But I cannot. It's come by itself. I even don't know. I cannot control my age. Any one of you like to be old, wanting to get old? Can you control your age? So maybe you can control your sickness. But to be sick at all, never. Maybe you decide now to be sick. Cannot. Is anyone can decide that you will wake up every morning, and you will be happy? This we call non-self, the Buddha called it. Anatta. And when we are experience the things change to us, under the end, they run away. When we experience that we want, the things will be like we want, but they are not. Sometimes there is things that we don't want, then they are coming to us. And when we experience that we cannot control it, these two elements create a lot of suffering in the life. I see something, for example, or I hear something, or I smell something, which is very, very, very nice. Boom! Immediately attached. And then what happened? You see this happiness, how many things it's depend on. We talk about is that everything is impermanent. The object is changing. When the object is changing, already I will feel unhappiness. Yeah. The distance between the object to my eyes is changing. My eyes is changing. My perception changing. This kind of happiness, how many things depend on? Can I call it really happiness? We eating delicious food. Wow, this is great happiness. Can I say this is real happiness? How long I can continue eating this delicious food? And I have the same happiness. I eat again, I eat again. I never change. This kind of happiness feeling. Oh, they give me higher position in the work. Now I'm more high position in the work. I'm very happy. And then after 1 week, they give me another position. I'm very happy.
Prevent-
After 6 months, another position. I'm very happy. All the time I have to spend my time in the work.
thing.
Already I don't happy anymore. Don't change. See? Everything. You know, you get money. Oh, money, happy. And suddenly, people call me from this verein and this verein and this verein. I don't want anymore the money. It means that this kind of happiness that I talk till now, all of them based by these 3 characters, anicca, dukkha, anatta. They all the time they have the intent to change. If I hold them, I found it as interesting things, they change to me. My feeling will change to this, and then suffering will follow. I cannot control them. They create a lot of suffering to me, a lot of frustration and sadness. Because they are under these conditions of the worldly condition, they create a lot of suffering inside us. How can I say that they are really happiness?
Yes.
So I tell you some secret. The Buddha didn't talk about happiness. He talked about suffering and end of the suffering. All these kind of happiness that normally we hold them as a real happiness and we are living under them, they are creating a lot of suffering for us. Actually, when I'm holding the flower, beautiful flower, and I have this attachment to the flowers, and tomorrow the flower change and I push it away, this is what makes me suffer so much and unhappy. Not the flower, the way that I'm treating the flowers. This is the way that we are suffering. It's not the food himself and not the music himself that they are dangerous. The way that I'm treating the food now, and the way that I'm treating the hearing now, and the smelling now, the way that we are holding it, this is what makes us suffering. I give you an example.
Yeah.
Suppose I don't talk about this. We don't mention about this. We don't speak about this object. Yeah? Is this thing disturbing you? Is anyone disturbed by this? I also didn't disturbed by this. But you think, for example, that I'm talking to you now, and all the time, oh, I wish to have this. Okay, and we make it. I wish at the end I will ask someone, maybe she will give me this one. So beautiful. And then, I cannot talk to you. All the time, I'm holding, and all the time I want it. The greed is there. My thirst, like I want to drink it all the time. I cannot concentrate. All the time the mind is holding it and pushing it away. Something like it's grabbing it. Yeah, and then, oh, she will give me this, I will be so happy, I can use it on happiness. This is that, because the feeling of this, that I'm going to get it, soon I will get it. It will create so much happiness inside me. That's why we call it greed. The Buddha called it tan'a. Tan'a, it's mean thirsty. And in this case, I'm holding it and pushing it to me. I'm all the time, my behave through it is that all the time I want it. I want this cake, I want this coffee, I want these flowers, I want this view of the, beautiful sunrise. So all the time the mind, holding it. But you think that I'm talking to you about this subject, very nice, and why this not so beautiful? What they think about this so shameful. And then, why she put these things? You see, this is anger. This is aversion. This is also the mind attached to it, but now we want to push it away. For example, I show you this example in the pain. You're sitting meditation, and I don't want this pain. The meditation will finish. I will stretch my all the time, holding it. So in the moment that I don't get what I want, or I pushing away, I get what I don't want, then I'm not satisfied. Then I'm not happy. This moment I'm suffering. And you say, if you want to stop the suffering, you have somehow to cut from yourself this habit to all things, what we call greed, okay? Or the anger I don't want. If you can cut from your mind this way, these things, so you're free for them. I show you how this attachment developed to different kind of things inside us. Yeah, I say that I get anger maybe about the pain. But when my leg, I cannot walk anymore, and this, what now develop on me? So not anger, worry. Huh? Or I ate this kind of pain, I ate them, they disturb me, so hatred.
Oder
There's
vielleicht.
still aversion, but different kind, okay? This pain is killing me, but why you can sit so beautiful and I cannot sit so good and pain disturbing me? If I just don't have the pain, I can sit like him. This is jealousy. You see how it starts to develop to different kind of character inside us. This, for the Buddha calls Vipassana. It means Tana, that I pushing it away, okay, and it create a lot of disliking inside me. Now I show you how to develop the other sides, because I say that there is another kind of Tana, it's the pushing to me, okay? Like I say, oh, if I can get this, I don't know, whatever cake, okay? So this is the greed, okay? What if you, for example, I'm better than him, I'm attached to the self. This is conceit. Also, attached to me, or I have better microphone for you, okay? It's mean conceit. Or I know better than you. I'm so good. I'm something like my wisdom is better than you, or you don't know, or what you know, it's not correct. It's mean misbelief, we call it. Something like my knowledge is better than your knowledge. I am practicing Vipassana and you're practicing yoga. It means that yoga is no good and just Vipassana is the best. It means that I'm holding my view or my knowledge, and this is still attachment. We call it misbelief. The Buddha said, as long as we have this attachment inside ourselves, we never can be really happy. If we really want to be happy, it depends on our mind and not on the objects outside. And to be really happy, we have to clean this tan'ah, this attachment in the mind. And the Buddha said, lucky us, we can do it. As long as we will be able to pay attention, to look at these characters inside us, we learn to overcome them. Theoretically, you see your anger, and the moment that your anger comes, you just acknowledge anger. Something like, poof, the power of the anger will go down. You see the worry, you acknowledge worry, the power of the worry will go down. So as long as you pay attention to yourself, you will be mindful about yourself, you slowly will, all this attachment, you learn to open. Let go. When people ask them what we should be mindful, they say 4 foundations of mindfulness. Satipatthana, Jataro Satipatthana, he call it. You have to pay attention on your body. When you are walking, when you are sitting, when you're standing, when you lie down, every moment that you pay attention, you can correct yourself. You can improve your movement. You can make the movement in the right way. In a small position, you are touching, rising. You want to touch the cake. For example, I give this, moving, touching, or cigarettes. Yeah, you are smoking. You pay attention to this. It will drop you slowly. In the course of Vipassana, we tell the people, even if you are smoking, you don't need to stop immediately. But when you are smoking, you just pay attention. You be mindful about how you move, how you smoke, how you take air, how you take out. And then we have our feeling. You feel happy, you should acknowledge happy. You feel disliking and all disliking. Even neutral, we should acknowledge neutral. Because like we said, these 3 kinds of feeling, liking, disliking, and neutral, they are changing all the time. If we follow them easy, we can fall into greed, anger, and delusion. Of course, this music now raising up in your mind the happy feeling. But you should acknowledge happy. Why? Because if no, you easy can fall into greed. You want it to continue. Maybe you want it to be better one. And then somebody, already disappointed there. So you see, if you follow the liking feeling, you fall into greed. And then you have disliking feeling. It's just a feeling coming. If you follow it, you fall into anger. Like you say, I have the pain, I cannot sit anymore already, you have to stop the meditation. And then you have neutral, you see meditation. Not good, not bad. Maybe I'm Buddha. Delusion. High stage of knowledge already, finish. And then someone tell me something, immediately I shout on him. So we have the feeling, and then we have our mind, thinking, judging, analyzing, criticizing. I did tomorrow I talk with him, he tell me, follow already the thinking, fantasy, or memory. oh, what happened to this friend to me? Oh, he told me like this. Past already. I am still holding it in my mind. Yeah? So we have to acknowledge these kind of things, not go into fantasy or imagine or things like this. We have thinking, judging, analyzing, criticizing, memory. And for sure we have anger, worry, doubt, lazy, craving, sadness, all these things that usually they come raising up on us as a feeling, as an emotion, and they let us play with us like Pinocchio. Yeah. And then we have the sense doors, like we say, hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, and thinking. Yeah, very important. All these things, just acknowledge, pay attention. Thinking coming in my mind. But what I'm doing, I'm just sitting. Anger coming into me. Okay, just feel anger. Just acknowledge it. Anger and come back. What I'm doing, I'm just sitting. It's just a belly rising, just a belly falling. In the moment that we pay attention to all these, what we call I, all the things that going into me like a visual, like a beep, 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 like you are cleaning your mind. And slowly, slowly you are learning to overcome all this attachment, greed, anger, delusion, and cleaning them from the mind. Like a tree, slowly, slowly you are cutting, and it became smaller, smaller, smaller. It's a matter of work, it's not magic, it's not going in one day. But you are cutting, till in certain time, what happens is that you turn off totally. Okay. Cleaning them totally from your mind. I give you example. You have 3 candles. Greed, anger, delusion. One thing, don't want and don't understand. 3 candles. Beep, 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 in your mind all the time. Oh, trouble you so much. Unhappy. In certain time, you are practicing, turning off the candles. This candle, no more in the mind. Clean them totally. You know in Pali how to say turn blue off, turning off. These actions in Pali, how we call it. What I've done to the candles in the moment that I turn it off. What the words in Pali? Nirvana. This is actually Nirvana. Nirvana, people using it enlightened. But it's not enlightened. It's opposite to turn off. Nirvana is the moment that I'm turning off the light. I'm turning off the reason that make me suffering. When I turn off the candles or the tree or the ignorant of the anger, this is called Nirodha. In this moment, the candles cannot come back again. When you cut the anger will not come back again. Nobody can make you angry anymore. Okay. In the same way, in this moment, the worry, doubt, lazy, craving, all these elements, pluck, cut them totally. This person will not be able to get worry. He will be satisfied whatever he has. He cut totally the greed. He don't have doubt. He know this way is working. Okay? And that's why in Pali we call it Arahant. It means enlightened person. In this moment the person will not be able to suffer anymore because he cut away, he cleaned for himself all the reason for the suffering. All this attachment, he cut it from the mind. It doesn't matter for him what kind of voice, or if I say in our language what kind of music he's hearing. It doesn't matter what his taste is. In our language you say what kind of cake he's eating. He don't care about what view he see, or what sight he see, what if sunset or sunrise or mountain or sea, everything egal. That's why the Buddha called it Nibbana Balamang Sukhang. Balamang Sukhang, it's the most highest, and in this case, Sukhang, it's happiness. It's the highest happiness that exists. This stage, this is the only stage in the nature which is not impermanent. When someone reaches to this stage, he will not be able to get dirty anymore. And it's not changing. So it's not anicca and not it's not anicca and not dukkha. There is no suffering anymore. But actually, if we talk like this, you can do this hocus pocus and be nirvana now. It means that nirvana it's anatta. It's still non-self. It's not that you can make hook. You have to work for it. It will come by itself when it comes. That's why also the Buddha say, sape sankhara anicca, sape dhamma anattati. It means all the conditions in the nature, they are impermanent. Okay? Sape dhamma, everything in the nature which is also nirvana, is existing in nature. That's why we can reach its non-self. Because nirvana, it's also non-self. It's not that we can choose when to go and how to go. For sure, when we are working, it's come by itself. But it's not that we are controlling it. That's why if we call it by the point of view of the Buddhism, this is the real happiness. When you use the word of real happiness, we are talking about nirvana. All the other things, they are just impermanent feeling. They are just cause of suffering, and we cannot really control them. But when the person reaching the stage of nirodha, he cut the reason of the suffering, so we don't have to look for other things, because nothing is disturbing him to satisfy it. You have any questions? Either everything is so clear, either you didn't understand me.
I have one question. So something like, who are the people who are enlightened? You know, so maybe, let's say, maybe Ajahn Tong, he's an enlightened one. So what about people who are maybe not a monk, but who are enlightened, how they are living their life?
They will not be possible to live their life as a normal. They must be beggars. They must be monks. They will let go everything. When you see your husband, you love him. In this moment he behaves certain way. You don't love him. You see your husband. You see human being. You see men. Okay. You see characters. You see the. But a enlightened person will not see like this. He will not be able to fall in love with this. And he see the human being as this element. Just nature things. He will not see she, he, beautiful, not beautiful. Everybody equal. That's why he can love everybody the same. His happiness not depend on what he have, what he don't have. But the neighbor is. So we give, and don't have anything anymore. Monk, living. The neighbor, he like very much my jeans, already give. My underwear, he give. He don't just take rope, put on himself, finish. Nobody want this kind of rubbish. If he will not have the ability to be monk, he will not survive 7 days. He let go everything.
So this is the problem?
No, he's living for love as a loving kindness to others. He's not living to satisfy himself. He don't need to satisfy himself. But if he will maintain the life, is to give to others. He will be only for the others, serving for others.
Letztlich ist da
For
halt
himself, he don't need anything anymore.
können
That's why
anderen
he will
helfen zu
not take
können.
anything by himself. People give him, he will take. They don't give, just let go.
And how to deal in this context with like that you are not getting exploited, like because you are like giving and you don't know the limit maybe, and the people come and they ask for things and you are like around and like you are restless, you don't come to a calm because like you are always out and you give and maybe you don't have by yourself, something like this. How to deal with this?
You will not get into this position of no calmness, because no calmness not exist in you. You're happy, whatever. You don't get into stressness. It's not like us that we give our neighbor, we want egg, he want I don't know, bread, he want to do cake for himself, and then, why all the time? He's never stop and I give here, but he only complain. He will never think like this. So opposite. He will think how he became happy when I give, not how I'm disappointed when I'm losing. Opposite. I know that you will be very happy that you have a sugar. You want? I just buy 1 kilo sugar. You take all. You want only glass. You take all one, and you don't need to go shopping. Already you have in your home. So I drink tea without sugar. He also understands the meaning of karma very, very deep. You know that if I give to my neighbor 1 kilo, not because I interest, but nature is that 2 kilo will come to me. When I give my house and I give up and I want to live in the cave, I get many houses. Because people like me, they want to give me houses and temples. You see this giving up things, how much, even not only Buddhism. Mama Teresa, I show people built for churches and things like this because they know she don't take it for themselves. She make good things with this. So people want to give, but actually she don't need anything. She has just white clothes and that's all, a little bit chapati in the morning. In the moment that your happiness is not depend on other things from outside, you become free. You are like birds. You can fly any countries. People give you passports. Just come to us to teach. I'm telling you, I'm not enlightened. I'm just a monk. And I have an Israeli passport. I have visa to Germany. In Thailand, they give me something like, because I'm not in Thailand, but almost I get some kind of citizenship. I get from the government of Thailand, I get a salary. Before this, I got a long time in America. I don't have time to go to all these places. You see, all the world open.
So this is a part or point of my question. So suppose in your situation, like there's many places who invite you, who want you to come, who want you to teach, and do you never get some kind of a feeling that maybe, how can I finish all these duties? Or like maybe it's not satisfying, or it's too nothing?
I'm just talking to you now. That's all. People want you, let them fight by themselves. Why I should fight? Secretary here, I have another secretary in Israel. I go to Thailand, I have another secretary. I'm just a tool. Depend wherever the people put them. It's just there. But the pen don't really care. It's just a pen. Make it duty of a pen. Let them talk where I will be. I don't know where I will be. It's up to them. I may be there, I may be here, I may be there, wherever. Now I'm with you. This is great freedom, because usually we are all the time depend on things. If you can build yourself and to function like this, because it's not easy. It's theoretically it's nice, but it's not easy. We need house, we need car, we need position, we have our needs. But when you can get rid for these needs, you are really free. Even relationship with partner. You know, in Israel we have saying, it's something like the men say about the wife, but it can be also opposite. It's not, you say, you cannot without her, but it's difficult with her. But it's also the other side. The woman can say the same. And this is trap. This is really trap, that you, on one side you need it, and the other side is, let me free. One of the difficulties in this relationship, it's because of condition, it's requesting. I want you in this way, everyone wants the others to be ABC. And it's not free from conditions. But when you are a monk, you have these kind of things, but without condition. People ask me, so what do you mean, that you cut yourself from the people? No, I say, how many wives you have? You say, one. I say, you know how many wives I have? How many husbands you have? I don't have husband. So how many husbands I have? How many mother I have? How many children I have? I commit myself to the people. Accept everybody. Whoever want to be whatever you want to be for me, I'm for him. And then you're free. You don't have it's not that if you like this, if you are a beautiful man, I like you. If you are young, I like you. If you're a beautiful girl, I like you. You're old woman, I don't like. This you like. No, everybody is good. Your heart open to everybody. You can accept everybody. So you are free. That's what we call loving kindness.
This is
so you are developing, you are cutting the anger, the worry, all these things, so you develop loving kindness. Love without condition. I'm collecting friends. Everywhere I go, I collect. Many I have. Lucky me. Big family. Petition. I think this is the last evening that we give Dhamma talk.
Yeah. I would like to know also, in the beginning you were speaking about, for example, happy conditions coming through the meditation, the jhanas, but also like the happy conditions through the practice, like maybe you're overcoming hindrances. And then, so I would like to know how is this also connected maybe to the monkhood. This is, for example, if you are a monk, you are like aiming to this kind of states of mind development or whatever, but isn't it also, if you are like, on the other hand, go with the intention to reach this kind of, I don't know, happy stages or free stages, isn't this already again some kind of a greed or attachment which comes in with it, and you actually just it's something like developing by itself, or are you also like determining or aiming to something like this? Can you say something about this?
You see, if we talk about the worldly happiness, this is the highest that the Buddha say from the worldly happiness. But it's just anicca, dukkha, anatta by itself. Because when you stop, the Buddha, he practiced these kind of things about 6 years before he get enlightened. That's what the teacher teach him. We call it samatha because it's give quietness to the mind. It's take all the anger, worry, doubt, push them down. And when we don't experience them, and in this moment the mind is very, very calm, is in stage of samadhi. That's why this meditation called samatha. But in the moment that you open the eyes and go and washing the dishes, so what happens is that the concentration will fall down, and then all again, oh, I have to do these dishes. And where is the happiness that was one moment, the spiritual person that was 10 minutes ago? But if you're using this strong concentration, connect with mindfulness, it's cutting the greed, anger, delusion. So in the moment that you sit, it's not that your head in the stars. You know what happened to you. And if any things like anger, worry, doubt, lazy want to come up, you can look at them and you cutting them. And then when you open the eyes, you continue practicing meditation. You just go and cleaning. You are aware what you are doing. And if anger, worry, doubt wanting to come, you are cutting there also. And whatever you are doing, you are biking, you know that you are biking. And if anger, worry, doubt, lazy, craving want to come, also there you are cutting it, till they will not appear anymore, because you throw them away. And you don't need to push them all the time. You just look at them and throw them away by mindfulness. Because you use mindfulness, you can see more and more clear how the things there are anicca, dukkha, anatta, how the things changing all the time, how the things there are just a matter of suffering. So you don't want to touch to them. And then you see that you cannot control. And then this kind of insight, wisdom of things, cleaning the greed, anger, delusion from the mind. And that's why we call it Vipassana. This is what the Buddha actually found out after 6 years when he was sitting alone and using the mindfulness. He understood this anicca, dukkha, anatta, how the things inside them, don't let them play with them anymore. So it's just a life changing. And this attachment to ourselves too much, taking ourselves too much serious, release. Who I am, what I have to take myself serious. I give you example. You have car, you have something, I don't know. Look for
bike.
Bike. You have bike, okay? And you look at this is your bike, okay? So you sometimes afraid that someone might steal it or something will happen to it, huh? Because you know it's your, and you might lose it or it's something damage to it. You don't want. Sometimes you walk on the street, you see bike, but not belong to you. So you don't afraid, this person, someone steal for him the bike, but it's not touch you. Because you know it's not belong to you. It's come to you intuitive. It's not belong to me. I'm not suffering. Why should I suffer? Anyway, it's not belong to me. You think that the same perceptions you have to your own bike. It's just a bike. It's not mine. So you don't live with fear all the time. Intuitive. Not now I'm talking with you, analyzing. But you think that you will be free from your bike the same like you are free from the neighbor bike. When you get gripa. Maybe I have lungs already, it's going to my lungs and I start to have infection. For sure you'll be worried, no? You're going to be sick and fever and maybe antibiotic or whatever. You see your friend in the school, maybe you a little bit massive, my lungs, maybe I go to the doctor, maybe I have, I don't know, gripa or the lungs problem. You're sorry about them, but you don't feel bad the same like it's your own body. You don't afraid. Okay, at least it's not my body. When you are thinking about your friend, you don't need to analyze, it's not my body, it's a friend body, so I don't be afraid, and because of this now I'm not afraid. You're just intuitive, you don't afraid. It's just not my body. It's not my bike. I don't need to make any manipulation so I get free from the bike, which is anyway not belong to me. I get it intuitive understanding, so I don't afraid. I'm free from this. You're not controlling them. You didn't buy them, you didn't bring them, you didn't build them. They are not belong to you. This man that is, yeah, for sure we are learning together in the school, but this body I never bring it, and I never control this body of my friend. So intuitively I know it's not belong to me, even if he die. Actually I didn't die. Okay? So you don't afraid. Because intuitively you understand this is not it's not belong to me, I am not this. So in which way you control your body? In which way you really bring your body? It's really in which way you holding your body as your body. You think that in the same way that you was thinking about the body of your friend, you was thinking about your own body. So you're free from it. For sure you take care about this, but you don't be afraid. Might be sickness or not sickness or what. Same like I gave you the example of bicycle. The idea that even if you understand it, or we understand it now in the way that I say, okay, why should I be so attached to my body? Anyway, it's changed. Anyway, I cannot control. But inside me, there is still attachment. It's nice to talk philosophic, but how ready to live? I understand not to get anger in the traffic jam, but what to do? I get anger. There is difference between your behave and your understanding. And when it's come feeding together, this is called insight. It's not that I'm just theoretically and understand that we should be nice people. Are really nice people. So this insight we call it. Something like it's not a matter of explaining. It's when you understand, and then you are really free. And this is on the top of this jhana that I say. This is when the moment that you make nirodha, cutting the attachment, so then you don't have attachment. So you don't think attachment. As long as you have attachment, even little bit, you have attachment to your bicycle, you have attachment to your car, you have attachment to your girlfriend, you have attachment to your body, you have attachment to your knowledge. But when it's cut out as a nature things because of the practice, it will not function anymore. You understand?
And Marita is saying that it is correct, that he was, besides what you explained, he was also asking something like the connection with the monkhood.
Yeah, because when you are learning to let go, you are releasing everything. When you are learning to let go, okay, so automatically you are releasing things from yourself. And when you're releasing things for yourself, automatically, another things that happen, it's also that you can see more and more clear, for example, what we call karma. That if you do certain things, it will actually hurting you. So you will stop doing them. I will to explain. Yeah. I say when you are practicing meditation, you slowly learning to let go. You are learning also to see the life clear. You can understand the cause and effect, what we call karma. You see, for example, that there is some kind of things that if you do them, you will feel hurt because of this. And for sure, almost also others. For example, you can see that when you become so sensitive in your mind that you see that if you kill any animals, you will suffer from this. You will feel unhappy because you kill, you destroy. And for sure the other animals also feel unhappy because of this. So you don't do it. Better for you, don't do it. And then you try not to do it anymore. You will see that if you take something which is not given to you, it actually might hurt other people, but also you will feel not comfortable that you took something which is not, and it's come to be more sensitive. You go on the street, you see the one you're on the street, it's not only that you don't pick it up. You think that someone, it's fell for him. It means that he will look for it. Second, that if the other person will go and see it, he will be very happy that he find out. So you don't pick it up. You just leave it there. It's on the floor, it's on the floor. Nobody give you, you don't take it. He cut this attachment for the sense doors. So when he see, he will not see woman. He just sees skin, dirty skin with the fat, with the air, inside have bones and liquid with the pee and kaki. This is what he see. What can he fall in love with this? Tomorrow get sick,
Morgen
cancer,
vielleicht
old,
krank,
white hair,
alt,
die.
weiße Haare, sterben,
What can
Krebs.
I fall in love with this? And then what? Even the worms eat it, and the bones fell, and the tooth fell, and what can you fall in love with? I'm talking about, because you ask about monk, but it can happen to, if anyone is developing this mind, it's also woman can look at a man the same way. So I mean about the sex. This is the third precept. Now what I explain is that when you develop your mind, automatically you understand the precept. But you don't understand wrong sex. Oh, okay, I'm married, I don't go with another woman. You understand who I have to go with? What is this thing? Play games that people games, husband and wife. And then he cut the boredom, he cut the laziness, he cut all these things. So you don't need entertainment. What you need to chat with people, to talk. If not necessary to talk, what to talk. So then you learn to keep the right speech.
Gesellig
Don't need
sein.
to show off anymore to other people, I'm good, I'm bad. So that's why I developed the right speech also. His mind is so clean and so clear, and his blood and body so clean, he cannot take any alcohol, he cannot take drugs. All this intoxicating, only making headache. He cannot take it. His body is so clear and clean. He don't need any entertainment. He will not go into the water and swimming pool to enjoy beep, 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 or dancing. And this is everything. This is a precept of monk. 227.
Und braucht
Automatically became monk. He became free without all these things. Okay, so I send you free. Okay, thank you very much. I wish for all of you to find the real happiness. Nirvana.